Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 5 math. You can find all the lessons on apthestudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 5 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find the list of the chapters. We are going to start with the chapter variable expression. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I am on grade 5 math. Chapter we are on right now is variable expressions. The lesson that is complete a table from a graph. Complete a table for the relationship shown in the graph. Wait. Okay, complete the table for the relationship shown in the graph. We need to find the value of y when x equals 12. So x equals 12, we need to find the value of y. So look at the graph. Here is the x equals 12. Just match it to the y-axis. So when x equals 12, y is 2. When x equals 12, y is 2. The correct option is 2, right? When x equals 12, y is 2. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Complete the table for the relationship shown in the graph. We need to find the value of y when x equals 15, right? Here is when x equals 15, we need to find the value of y. That would be 12. So when x equals 15, y equals 12. So y is 12. When x is 15, y is 12. The missing value is 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. Complete the table for the relationship shown in the graph. We need to find the value of y when x equals 4. X equals 4, y is 12. When x equals 4, y equals 12. So the correct option is 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. Complete the table for the relationship shown in the graph. When x equals 9, we need to find the value of y. So here is x equals 9 and y equals 8. The correct option is when x equals 9, y equals 8. You have to match the value of x with the y. So that is 8. The correct option is option number 2 is the correct option. Complete the tip shown in the graph. So we need to find the value of y when x equals 6. X equals 6, we need to find the value of y. So here is x equals 6, y equals 11. So when x equals 6, y equals 11. That is 11. Option number 1 is the correct option. Complete the table for the relationship shown in the graph. So we need to find the value of y when x equals 12. So when x equals 12, y equals 8. The correct option is 8. Option number 1 is the correct option. Complete the table for the relationship shown in the graph. So which is the correct option? We need to find the value of y when x equals 20. When x equals 20, y equals. When x equals 20, y is 17. The correct option is 17. Option number 2 is the correct option. Complete a table for the relationship shown in the graph. So when x equals 14, y equals. We need to find the value of y when x equals 14. X is 14, y equals 7. Option number 2 is the correct option. Complete the table for the relationship shown in the graph. X equals 9, y equals. That is 11. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, so you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So let's just start with the next lesson, that is a two relationship, a two variable relationship. Let's just start with the lesson. This rule and table describe a relationship between x and y. To find y, subtract 1 from x. This is actually the rule. How do we find the value of y? We need to subtract 1 from x. You can see 2 minus 1, 3 minus 1, 4 minus 1, right? For every value of y, you need to subtract 1 from x. That is actually the rule. So which graph shows the relationship? Now look at this table of values and match it to the y graph. X equals 1, y equals 0. This is x equals 1, y equals 0. X equals 2, x equals 2, y equals 1. X equals 3, y equals 2. And when x equals 4, y equals 3. So B is the correct option, right? You just have to match the table of values with the B is the correct option, right? Let's just start with the test questions. This rule and table describe a relationship between x and y. To find y, subtract 1 from x. That is the rule. You need to find the value of y. For each value, you need to subtract 1 from x. So you need to match the table of values with the graph now. So that is the one we did on the tutorial. X is 1, y is 0. Here is the point. When x is 1, y equals 0. When x equals 2, y equals 1. When x equals 3, y equals 2. And when x equals 4, y equals 3. So graph B is the one that matches the table of values. Got it? This rule and table describe a relationship between x and y. To find y, add x to 8. You need to add 8 to each x value to find the y. So 0 plus 8 is 8, 1 plus 8 is 9, 2 plus 8 is 10, 3 plus 8 is 11. You need to add 8 to each value of x to find the value of y, right? So just match those values with the graph, right? So when x is 0, y is 8. When x is 1, y is 9. When x is 2, y is 10. So B is the correct option. The second graph is the correct one, right? Option number B is the correct option. This rule and table describe a relationship between x and y. To find y, subtract 3 from x. That means you need to subtract 3 from each value of x. Sorry, yes, you need to subtract 3 from each value of x to find y. So look at the first one. 3 minus 3, that is 0. Look at the y values. 4 minus 3, that is 1. 5 minus 3, that is 2. And 6 minus 3 is 3. So x is 3, y is 0. Now match the table of value with the graph. X is 3, y is 0. Here is 3 and 0, right? When x equals 4, y equals 1. When x equals 5, y equals 2. And when x equals 6, y equals 3. So option number B is the correct option. That is B. This rule and table describe a relationship between x and y. So to find y, subtract 3 from x, right? So 3 minus 3 is 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. 5 minus 3 is 2 and 6 minus 3 is 3. So x is 3, y is 0. The B graph is the one that match the with the each value, right? So the correct option is B. So the correct option is B graph. The rule and the table describe a relationship between x and y. You need to add 5 to each value of x, right? To find the value of y. Just look at the x values. 3 plus 5 is 8. 4 plus 5 is 9. 5 plus 5 is 10. And 6 plus 5 is 11. So just match the values with the graph, right? X equals 3, y equals 8, but they are too small. I think that is the correct one. X equals 3, no. X equals 4, y equals 9, x equals 5, y. Yes, the A graph is the correct option, right? The correct option is A. A is the correct option. This rule and table describe a relationship between x and y. X equals 0, y equals 0. X equals 1. Multiply x by 6. 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18. So x is 0, y is 0. X equals 1, y equals 6. X equals 2, y equals 12. X equals 3, y equals 18. The graph B is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. And the next lesson is equation. Write a two variable equation. Complete the equation that represents the relationship between A and B. We need to write down the equation that represents the relationship. We need to find a relationship that represents the relationship between A and B. Right now, look at the values. 5 plus what number is 15? 6 plus what number is 16? That is 5 plus 10, 6 plus 10, 7 plus 10, isn't it? And then 8 plus 10. And that means for each value B, you need to add 10 to A. So we are adding. So B equals A plus 10. So we are adding 10 to each value of x. We are adding, sorry, 10 to each value of a to find the value of b. Let's just start with the test questions. Complete the equation that represents the relationship between t and c. So look at the values of c. T plus 7 plus what number is 16? 8 plus the missing number is 16. 8 plus, sorry, 17, not 9, 8. Then that would be 8 plus 9 is 17. And 7 plus 9 is 16. 9 plus 9 is 18. Plus 9 is 19, isn't it? So that means for each value of c, you need to add 8, 9 to each value of t. The correct option is 9, option number 2 is the correct option. Complete the equation that represents the relationship between W and M. So 7, now for M, we need to subtract a specific number. Look at the M values that are decreasing. So 7 minus, you can look at the option. 7 minus 2 is not 2, right? That is 7 minus 5 is 2. 8 minus 5 is 3. 9 minus 5 is 4. That is option number 2 is the correct option. You need to subtract 5 from each value of W to calculate the value of M. Complete the equation that represents the relationship between C and P. 7 plus 5 is 12. 8 plus 5 is 13. So we are adding 5 to each value of C. Option number 1 is the correct option. We are adding 5 to each value of C to calculate the value of P. Complete the equation that represents the relationship between B and G. So we need to subtract a specific number from B to calculate the value of G. 6 minus 2 is 4. 7 minus 2 is 5. 8 minus 2 is 6 and 9 minus. So we are subtracting 2 from each value of B. Option number 1 is the correct option. Complete the equation that represents the relationship between S and H. So we are adding 6 to each value of, sorry, 10 to each value of S. So option number 2 is the correct option. Complete the equation that represents the relationship between M and B. So B equals M minus 1. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, so you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 5 math chapter. We were working on is sessions, the lessons we covered today are complete graph a two variable relationship and then write a two variable relationship. So please make sure before the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. You can write them down in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and so any questions you can please answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for